تلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طهر وحصانة البدن والشفاء للصدر. مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طهر وحصانة البدن والشفاء للصدر. مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طهر وحصانة البدن والشفاء للصدر. مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طهر وحصانة البدن والشفاء للصدر. مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طهر وحصانة البدن والشفاء للصدر. مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طهر وحصانة البدن والشفاء للصدر. مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طهر وحصانة البدن والشفاء للصدر. مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا يا رمضان مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضام في الهجر
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I greet everyone wherever you are watching today's program. Today we shall be discussing about Ramadan. What is Ramadan? What are the benefits of Ramadan? Ramadan refers to abstaining from eating or drinking and sexual relations from dawn to sunset. That is the summary or brief about the definition of Ramadan. And Ramadan is a name of the ninth month of what we claim today as Islamic calendar. So during the month of Ramadan, Muslims they must fast during the month of Ramadan because Almighty Allah decreed that true Muslim must fast during the month of Ramadan. And because Ramadan teaches Muslims self-control, self-discipline, and also Muslims feel the same needy feels, which will encourage the rich to help the poor, and the rich will feel how the poor feels during the month of Ramadan. So, and Islam is built on 5 pillars, and Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So that is why Ramadan is very important. Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So that is why Muslims, or let me put it this way, true Muslim must fast during the month of Ramadan. This Ramadan is a special fasting which comes once in a year, and during the month of Ramadan, all Muslims must stay away. They have to avoid eating, drinking between dawn and sunset, and it is a period for much prayer. Muslims must be engaged in much prayer during the month of Ramadan, and they have to engage in much good deeds. They must try to spend quality time with friends and family, and also the needy. and the rich among Muslims must provide foods and drinks for the community, just to encourage them, and also to fulfill the commandments of Almighty Allah. At the end of the fast, families, friends, we gather together for iftar. Iftar is to break the fasting, and also midnight Muslim must wake up for sahur, midnight meal. Many mosques have been holding the iftar. Some mosque organizes iftar in their mosque, while some family may gather themselves together for iftar. Muslim must engage also during the month of Ramadan in reading the Quran, because Quran, part of the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad during the month of Ramadan. The first part of Surah Al-Alaq was revealed to Prophet Muhammad during the month of Ramadan. And according to Almighty Allah, there are some people that were exempted from fasting. Sick people are not allowed to fast during the month of Ramadan. Elderly people, pregnant women, travelers were not allowed to fast. Days for Ramadan could be 29 or 30. After Ramadan, the Eid al-Fitr, Eid festival follows. That is the festival of the breaking of the fast, whereby Muslims goes to the mosque celebrating Eid al-Fitr and thank Almighty Allah for giving them opportunity to be part of those who have that grace to fast. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims must look for halal food to break their fasting. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims must break their fasting with halal food according to Islamic law. What are the importance of Ramadan? First, according to many authentic hadith, the gates of the paradise are opened, while the gates of hell are closed, and the devils are chained up. Number two, fasting during the month of Ramadan helps to attain taqwa. Taqwa is fear of Almighty God. During the month of Ramadan, people stay away from sins, from bad deeds, and people give sadaqah People give sadaqah. They help the needy. These are part of importance of Ramadan. Number 3, part of the verses, the part of the verses of the Holy Quran was revealed during the month of Ramadan. That is Ikra Bismi Rabbika Alladhi Khalaqa. That was part of the verses that was revealed to Prophet Muhammad during the month of Ramadan. Number 4, to perform lesser Hajj, known as Umrah, during the month of Ramadan is equivalent to Hajj. If anyone intends to perform Umrah, that is lesser Hajj, during the month of Ramadan, according to the Prophet Muhammad, he said Umrah during the month of Ramadan is equivalent to Hajj. These are part of importance of Ramadan. Number 5, there is a great reward from Almighty Allah to offer iftar to those who are fasting during the month of Ramadan. Number 6, it is highly recommended to give your zakat. Zakat is obligatory tax donation, to donate 2.5% of your wealth from your savings, from your assets, and also to give sadaqah. Sadaqah is voluntary charity. It's different from zakat. Zakat is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, but sadaqah, voluntary charity, is voluntary, it's not obligatory. But zakat is obligatory. If you have money, if you are rich, you have to give needy, you have to give part of your wealth as donation to the needy. It is good to give zakat during the month of Ramadan. It is recommended. Number 7, during the month of Ramadan, we have the night of decree. The night of decree, that is the night of power, Laylatul Qadr, during the last 10 days of Ramadan, which is better than a thousand months, according to Almighty Allah. He said, Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alf shahr. And number 8, reading the Holy Quran during the month of Ramadan is rewarding. Listen to a series of lectures, donation of money, donation food to the needy, also are rewarding. Ramadan is known in the Quran as Ramadan is known in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah. Almighty Allah mentioned about Ramadan in Surah Al-Baqarah, which I shall I will read it shortly. And number nine, itikaf. Itikaf in the last 10 days of Ramadan also is rewarding. It's part of importance of Ramadan. Then sahur also is part of activities during the month of Ramadan. Then the day Muslim breaks their fasting, which is known as Eid al-Fitr, it is good to give zakat. So zakatul fitri also is very important. It's part of importance of Ramadan. Number 13, Ramadan gives opportunity to attain forgiveness for all our sins. So that is why we have to engage in prayers. We have to seek for forgiveness. We have to seek for more blessings from Almighty Allah. We have to stay away from sins, from bad deeds during the month of Ramadan and after Ramadan. Ramadan is very important. It's very, very important, and also it is good. It is recommended that prayer, we should pray before breaking our fasting. There are many prayers, recommended prayers, that Prophet Muhammad recommended, and some of the Muslim scholars. But the shortest one is Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftaritu. Before you break your fast daily, it is recommended to say this prayer: Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftaritu. Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftaritu. It is preferable to break your fast by eating fresh fruits or dates before you break your fast. So the meaning of Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftaritu. O Almighty Allah, I observed my fasting for you and your provision that I have eaten to break my fast. So that is the meaning. During the month of Ramadan as well, we have Taraweeh, Solatu Taraweeh. So it is Sunnah. It's part of Sunnah. Sunnah is what Prophet Muhammad recommended. So it is Sunnah to perform Taraweeh. Taraweeh prayer in the night of Ramadan. This prayer is about 10 rakah or 11 to be performed after Isha prayer. Imam recites longer chapters of the Holy Quran during the Salatul Tarawih. But most of Imam, when he noticed that the followers cannot stand longer, cannot stand for long period during the Salatul Tarawih, some Imams prefer to recite short chapters of the Holy Quran. So during the fasting, we must avoid kissing. During the fasting, don't kiss your wife. Don't attempt to have any serious play that may lead to sex. So we must avoid kissing, we must avoid lies, we must avoid backbiting, we must avoid slander, we must avoid stealing, we must avoid gossiping, we must avoid killings, we must avoid violence during the month of Ramadan and after Ramadan as well. After Ramadan, you are allowed to kiss your wife, but after Ramadan, you are not allowed to lie, because lies is forbidden in Islam. Backbiting is a great sin. Slander is a great sin in Islam. Stealing is a criminal offense. Gossiping is a sin. Killing is a serious criminal offense in Islam. Violence, terrorism is a great criminal offense in Islam. So whatever we avoid during the month of Ramadan, it is good, it is advisable, it is recommended that we should avoid it after Ramadan. Itikaf after Ramadan, after the Ramadan, the scholars divided the period of Ramadan into 3 parts: the first 10, then the second 10, then the last 10. So Ramadan could be 29 or 30. It depends on the moons. It depends on sighting of the moon. So during the last 10, that is when Muslims must be in the mosque. If you have intention to do your i'tikaf, so staying in the mosque during last 10 days of Ramadan, you have to dedicate your time for worshipping Almighty Allah in a specific manner. It applies to men and women. It is valid without observing it is valid without fasting or choosing a mosque in which congregational prayer is held in a condition for the validity of your i'tikaf. And during the i'tikaf, you have to stay away from sexual relation. You must engage in prayer. You must engage in prayer. Sahur is pre-dawn meal. pre-dawn meal. Iftar is breaking your fast. Then midnight. So midnight, that is when you have to wake up to have your pre-dawn meal before al-fajr, before the calling of Salatul Subuh. So Sahur begins last night. And you have to you can decide to eat whatever you like for your sahur. And before Ramadan begins, sighting of the new moon of Ramadan is very important. Sometimes the authority of the community may decide that they have to count the month of Shaban. So completing the month of Shaban, so when the moon is not sighted, but when the moon is sighted, then observing fasting becomes obligatory. It all depends wherever you live. It is not permissible to observe fasting on the doubtful day. Fasting is not permissible. If a Muslim ate or drank or had an intercourse, sexual relation, forgetting that he or she is fasting, his observance is valid. His fasting is still valid. If he ate or drank or had sexual intercourse, forgetting that he is fasting. If a Muslim has a wet dream, sometimes you may have wet dream, your fasting will remain valid, but you must have your ghusl. It is permissible to delay your ghusl resulting from the sexual activity. Then the end of menstruation or personal bleeding for women. So you can delay your ghusl till the end of your menstruation or personal bleeding until dawn. The fasting of such person remain valid according to Sunnah. What are the things that invalidate your fasting. There are some things that may invalidate your fasting. One, to eat intentionally, willful eating. You eat intentionally, or you drink intentionally, or you have sexual relationship with your wife intentionally. So willful eating, drinking, or having sexual intercourse during the day of Ramadan, your Ramadan becomes invalid. If you are a woman and you are fasting and your period starts, or you start bleeding, so your fasting is invalid. You have to break your fasting because you are not allowed to fast during the menstruation. And when you induced yourself until you vomit, so vomiting, or you masturbate, so masturbating or ejaculation may invalid your fasting. So masturbation is not allowed during the period of fasting during the month of Ramadan, and it is not allowed to induce yourself to induce vomiting, or you masturbate yourself for ejaculation. This is not allowed according to the Sunnah. And if you miss any number of the day of Ramadan for one reason or the other, you have to pay it back after Ramadan. You have to pay it after Ramadan. But if you had sexual intercourse intentionally, you have to feed. You must feed a slave, or observing fast of 2 consecutive months, or you have to feed 60 needy persons. So if it happened intentionally, according to Quran. So now let us look into what Almighty Allah said about fasting in the Holy Quran. If we check our Holy Quran, Quran 2, verse 183. Quran 2, verse 183. Almighty Allah said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Almighty Allah said in the Holy Quran that, O you who have believed, those who believed in Almighty Allah, they have decreed upon you, fasting has been decreed upon you, which was decreed upon those before you. So, those before you, that is, Almighty Allah is telling Muslims in this verse that there are some other people who came, who believed in their own religion, which was not Islam. So they have been fasting. So fasting has been decreed upon them. As we all know that Jew and Christianity came before Islam. Jewish people, they believe in Prophet Moses. They believe in Moses, and they believe in Ataura. Ataura is Old Testament. So Old Testament is the holy book Almighty Allah revealed to Prophet Musa. After Musa, Jesus came. Almighty Allah revealed Injil, that is Bible, to Jesus. And Prophet Muhammad came 570 years after the Jesus. So that is why Almighty Allah is referring as a reference to Prophet Muhammad that do not think that we decreed upon your followers, upon Muslims, fasting. They should know, they should believe that this fasting has been decreed upon those who came before you. That is, before you, before Prophet Muhammad, because Prophet Muhammad was appointed as a messenger to introduce Islam to the people of Mecca. From Medina, Islam spread to all over the world. And those who have Bible, those who believe in Prophet Musa, those who believe in Jesus, they are still existing till today. So that is why Almighty Allah is referring to them in this verse that all you who have believed, so among the Muslims, so Almighty Allah said, they have decreed upon you, you Muslims, fasting, which has been decreed upon those who came before Muslims, so that you may become righteous. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. The reason why Almighty Allah decree fasting, so that we may have a fear of Almighty God, so that we may have the feelings those needy feels during the month of Ramadan. So Almighty Allah said, Ayyaman ma'adudatin, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضٌ أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خير له فمن تطوع خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. Almighty Allah is giving more information, giving more analysis about Ramadan. It's giving us more rule and regulation that fasting have a limited number. Fasting has been decreed for a limited number of days. It could be 29, it could be 30. So that is, they have Almighty Allah has already fixed the limited number of days Muslims must fast. So whoever among you is ill, whenever anyone is sick or on a journey, a long journey, and upon those who are not able, who doesn't have ability to fast, but with hardship, they are exempted from fasting for a reason, but they must have a substitute of feeding a poor. They must feed a poor person each day, and whoever whoever decide to be a volunteer in excess, so but it is better for him to fast. So that is why he said, فَمَنْ تَطَوَّعَ خَيْرًا فَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. So وَأَنْ تَصُومُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تعلمون. Then he said again, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. That is, the month of Ramadan is a special month in which part of the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad The revelation began in Mecca, completed in Medina. The revelation of the Quran started when Prophet Muhammad was 40 years old in Mecca. At the age of 53, Almighty Allah commanded him to leave Mecca to Medina when the people of Mecca, idol worshippers, they attempted to kill him because he was attacking their idols. He was insulting their idols. He was condemning their religion. So that is why they attempted to kill him. And they may have power over him to kill him. That is why Almighty Allah gave him order to leave Mecca to Medina. And that journey was known as Al-Hijrah. And Prophet Muhammad was about 53 when he left Mecca for Medina, and he stayed in Medina for 10 years. So he died at the age of 63. So here Almighty Allah was saying that that is, the revelation started during the month of Ramadan. How do we know this? Almighty Allah mentioned this in this verse. He said that the month of Ramadan, in which parts of the revelation was revealed, started, that is, the revelation began in the month of Ramadan. And the Quran is a guidance for the people, and it's a clear proofs of guidance and criterion. So whoever cites the new moon, as I said in the beginning, that sighting of the moon is very important before Muslim starts Ramadan. Almighty Allah mentioned this. For man shahida minkum shahara fal yasumuhu. So it is very important. That is why Almighty Allah said that whoever sights the new moon of that is the crescent must be sighted before the announcement of beginning of Ramadan. So Almighty Allah said, so whoever sights the new moon of the month, let him fast. They have to fast during the month of Ramadan. And whoever is sick or on a long journey, then on equal number of other day, so they have to return any of the fasting missed during the month of Ramadan in another day after Ramadan. So Almighty Allah intends for you to make things ease. It does not intend for you hardship, and for you to complete the period, you have to complete the period, that is of any one that is missed. Like women, maybe during the month of Ramadan you started your menstrual period, so you have to stop, or you start bleeding, you have to stop, or you gave birth, so because you need to breastfeed your newborn baby, so breastfeeding is very important. You are not allowed to fast. That is why Almighty Allah said that yuridu Allahu bikumul yusra wala yuridu bikumul usra. Almighty Allah do not intend any hardship upon you, you Muslims. Wal tukmilul iddata wal tukabbiru Allah ala ma hadakum. You have to glorify your Almighty Allah. That is the Eid al-Fitr day. When you are going to mosque, you have to glorify Almighty Allah for giving you opportunity to complete your fasting. La'allakum tashkurun. So you have to show appreciation. You have to give thanks to Almighty Allah. The same chapter, Almighty Allah said that you have to give glory to Almighty Allah for guiding you, and also you must be grateful. Then he continued giving us analysis related to this month of Ramadan. He said, "Uhilla lakum laylata siyami arrafathu ila nisaikum hunna libasun lakum wa antum libasun lahunna. علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون." In this verse, we will understand that Almighty Allah is telling us that it has been He made it permissible for you the night that the fasting preceding, that is the night preceding fasting, to go to your wives. That is, after iftar, you can have sexual relation with your wife. Before, it was not allowed. When Ramadan was first decreed, Almighty Allah commanded Muslims to fast for 29 or 30 days without having sex with our wives. But when Almighty Allah noticed that some of them are trying to be close, some of them were doing something funny with their wives. So that is why Almighty Allah refilled another verse to make it permissible that Muslims can have sex with their legal wives. So you are allowed. So uhilla lakum laylata siyami arrafathu ila nisaikum. So it is permissible for you during the night of Ramadan, that is after iftar. After iftar, because after iftar, we are allowed to have sex with our wife, according to this verse, that you have been permitted. So during the night of fasting, to go to your wives for sexual relation. So Almighty Allah said that He said, Hunna libasun lakum wa antum libasun lahunna. Your wife, they are just like clothes. You know, we use clothes to cover ourselves. So Almighty Allah said they are clothing for you, and you are clothing for them. So Almighty Allah said, Alima Allahu annakum kuntum taqtanuna anfusakum fataba alaykum. So because Almighty Allah said He knows that you used to deceive yourselves when we gave order to stay away, to avoid sexual relation with your wife before. So Almighty Allah is telling us that He aware how you Muslims deceiving yourselves when we gave the first commandment. So He said that He has accepted your repentance and forgive you. So that's why He now said, فَالْآنَ بَشِّرُوهُنَّ. So now we have permitted, we have granted you permission to have sexual relation with them. And وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ, and seek for whatever Almighty Allah has decreed for you. That is, when you have a sexual relationship with your wife, the reason behind it is that you are seeking for children. You want to have children, so you want your wife to be pregnant. So that is what Almighty Allah is talking about here, that wabtagu ma kataballahu lakum. So that is, you should look for what Almighty Allah has already decreed for you. Then the same verse now is telling us the time we should eat during the month of Ramadan. So when the time of fasting begins and ends, so that's why He said, wakulu washrabu hatta yatabayyana lakumul khaytul abyadu min al khaytil aswad. So that is, eat and drink until the white thread, thread of dawn becomes distinction to you from the black thread. So, the black thread in the darkness, we may not see it, but you can identify any white color in the darkness. So Almighty Allah is talking about day and night. So that is when you need to start your fasting and when you need to end your fasting. That's why he said that wakulu washrabu, so you can eat. So that is after Isha, you are allowed to eat and drink, even to have sexual relation with your wife until when you see that al-fajr is coming. So you have to stop eating. So that is what Almighty Allah is telling us here. So that's why he said that when that happened, that's why he said min al-fajr, until al-fajr. So then thumma atimmu tamma yatimmu. So atamma, this one is amuru, command verb. Then complete the fast. You have to complete your fast until the sun sets. So ila layl. So then you start fasting until sunset. And he said, وَلَا تُبَشِّرُوهُنَّ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. So the same verse now is talking about the last 10 days of Ramadan, because Al-I'tikaf happens during the last 10 days of Ramadan. So that period, when you are inside for I'tikaf in the mosque, you are not allowed to have sexual relation with your wife. You have to stay away from your wife if you are in the mosque for I'tikaf during the last 10 days of Ramadan, according to this verse. So وَلَا تُبَشِّرُوهُنَّ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ. So that is, you cannot have sexual relation with your wife while you are in the I'tikaf. Do not have any sexual relation with them as long as you are staying for worship in the mosque. In the mosque, he mentioned in the mosque. And he said, Tilka hududullah. Tilka hududullah. Those are the limits, limitation, boundary set by Almighty Allah. Fala taqrabuha. Do not approach them. Do not approach them. And كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون. Almighty Allah said that those rule and regulation that we have given to you, we have already made it clear, and it is a decree to the people, so that they may become righteous. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ, so that they may become righteous. those who have fear of Almighty God, those who follow the rule and regulation of Almighty God. So during the last 10 days of Ramadan, two activities happen: Al-I'tikaf and also Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr. So that is why he said that, because during the I'tikaf, you need to engage in prayers and seek for forgiveness and request for whatever you need. So that is why he wants you to remain holy. And if we look into another chapter where Almighty Allah is discussing about Laylatul Qadr, he said, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Indeed, we have sent the Quran, part of the Quran, we sent it down during the night of decree. Not the whole Quran, no, part of it. وَمَا أَدِرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. That night of decree, what do you think that will help you to recognize that Laylatul Qadr? Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr. The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. Why? Because تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. Because the angels, including Jibril is referred as Ruh here. Ruh means Jibril, because Jibril is the leader of angels. All of them, they will appear, descend, they will sow, and with the permission, they will get their permission from Almighty Allah, within Rabbihim, with their Lord's permission. Min kulli amurin salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. What they will, all of them will be saying, peace be upon you, all those who are engaging themselves in Laylatul Qadr, engaging themselves for prayer, engaging themselves in worship. The angel will come and bless them and pray for them by saying, peace upon you, until the emergency of dawn, that is Al-Fajr. That is why Laylatul Qadr is linked with Ramadan, and I'tikaf is linked with Ramadan. These are the verses from the Holy Quran explaining to us how to fast, when to start fasting, when to break your fasting, then about sahur, then about the who are those people excluded from the fasting, how we should fast, how to break our fast, what we are allowed to do, what we should avoid during the period of fasting, and what we are allowed to do after fasting. Then according to Islam, Islam based their religion, their worship on Al-Kitab wa Sunnah, on Quran and Sunnah. And Sunnah is what Prophet Muhammad said or what he did. We have seen many hadith, what Prophet Muhammad said about Ramadan. He said, one of the hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, Sumu bi ru'yatihi wa aftiru li ru'yatihi. So that is about sighting of the moon, how important it is. So Prophet Muhammad said, you Muslims, do not start fasting during the month of Ramadan. You have to fast according to the sighting of the moon. Sumu li ru'yat bi ru'yatihi. So you have, sumu is command verb. In Arabic morphology, when we say soma, yasumu, sauman or siyaman, so'imun, sum is singular, suma is dua, sumu is used for plural. Because Prophet Muhammad is talking to Muslims generally, so that is why he says sumu bi ru'yatihi. Fast according to the sighting of the moon. Then you cannot break your fast. That is, after 29 or 30 days, so you have to sight the moon again before you can complete your fasting. So, and when we complete our fasting, then next day is Eid. So that's why Prophet Muhammad said, "Wa afutiru li ru'yatihi." So break your fast according to the sighting of the moon. So that is, so this is a rule and regulation. So that is why some people said that we cannot rely on astronomical method before we start our fasting. We have released many videos on that, so we don't need to say much on that. Then in another verse of the hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, Sumu li ru'yatihi wa afutiru li ru'yatihi fa inni ogemiya alaykum faqdiru lahu thalathinan. This is another hadith in different fashion, but the same message. So Prophet Muhammad said, fast according to the new moon sighting, and also break your fast according to the sighting of the moon. But if it is hidden, because sometimes the cloud may not be cleared enough for you to see the crescent. So if it is hidden from you, by clouds. Then what do we do? Then Prophet Muhammad said, consider it that the month has 30 days. Consider it, that is, consider the month as 30 days. So, in reference to what Almighty Allah said in the Holy Quran, Almighty Allah said, فَأَكِمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ. So, then another one said, فَأَكِمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ. So, فَأَكِمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ ثَلَاثِينَ. That is, then complete the number of days. That is, you have to fast. So, that is why sometime Ramadan, fasting in the month of Ramadan could be 29 or 30. So, what Prophet Muhammad is saying here, so in another version, he said, فَأَكْمِلُوا عِدَّةَ شَعْبَانَ ثَلَاثِينَ. So that is, complete the number of days of month of Sha'ban as 30. So before Ramadan starts. So it is very clear. During that time, because there was no equipment, no astronomy method, they rely on the sighting of the moon, and so that is why Prophet Muhammad said this. In another hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُوهُ فَصُومُوا وَإِذَا رَأَيْتُمُوهُ فَأَفْطِرُوا. When you see it, that is, when you see the new moon of Ramadan, then fast. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتُمُوهُ فَأَفْطِرُوا. And when you see it, that is, when you see the new moon of Shawwal, then break your fast. So this is so that is why Muslims they have whatever they do, whatever Muslims do, whatever they do, they have the evidence, the backup. If you ask any Muslim, why do you fast during the month of Ramadan, they will say, Almighty Allah decreed Ramadan. The evidence is in the Quran, Quran 2 verse 186. Then why you Muslim relied on sighting of the moon before you start your Ramadan? Yeah, because we followed, we have a leader, and the leader of Muslims was Prophet Muhammad, and Muslims believe in Quran as a revelation from Almighty Allah, and Quran is an encyclopedia, it's a constitution which Muslims follow. So that is why they rely on sighting of the moon before Ramadan begins. It was not permissible to fast on the day of Dhul Hijjah, the day they call it during the month of Dhul Hijjah. There are some days that fasting are not allowed. On the 13, 14, and 15 of each month. So if the fast day sometime coincide or coincide with the day of Ayyam Tashriq, is it permissible to fast or not? It is not permissible to fast. So according to Sunnah, because they are days of eating, you have to eat and drink and remember Almighty Allah. So Islam do not permit anyone to fast during the Eid day, either Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr. You have to eat. So everyone is eating, drinking, enjoying themselves. And Yawm Ashura, fasting the day of Ashura is a sunnah. It's a sunnah. It is recommended to fast because the record said Prophet Muhammad used to fast the day of Ashura, according to the record, because they said that day Prophet Musa was saved and his people from Pharaoh in Egypt. So that is why they recommend it. But we have another hadith saying that man sha'a soma wa man sha'a taraka. So whoever wishes to fast, he may fast, and whoever wishes to leave it can leave it. So it is not compulsory. Ramadan is the one that is compulsory on the Muslim adults. If we check Quran 9 verse 36, Almighty Allah discusses about a month. He said, Inna iddata shuhuri inda Allahi ithna ashara shahran fi kitabillah yawma khalaqa samawati wal ardo minha arba'atu hurum. ذلك دين القيم فلا تظلموا. Almighty Allah said, certainly the number of months according to Almighty Allah is 12, as written in the book of Almighty Allah on the day He created heavens and earth, of which they are 4 sacred months. That is, the right faith So do not wrong yourself within that period. So according to Muslim scholars and many scholars of tafsir, they analyzed this verse that 4 months that Almighty Allah mentioned in this verse, Muharram, Rajab, Dhul Qada, and Dhul Hijjah. These are the Arba'at Hurum, the 4 months from that 12th month. As we all know that what we Muslim claimed that's our Islamic calendar. So I have said this 12th month has been existed before Prophet Muhammad was born. Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awwal, Rabiul Thani, Jumada al-Awwal, Jumada al-Thani, Rajab, Sha'aban, Ramadan, Shawwal, Dhul Qada, Dhul Hijjah. The Arab world, they have created this 12th month for themselves before Prophet Muhammad was born. So Prophet Muhammad never told us that this 12th month are Islamic calendar. But we have explained why Muslims claim this 12th month as Islamic calendar. So among this 12th month, so Muharram, the first one, and Rajab, the one that comes before Sha'ban, and Dhul Qada, the 11th one, and the last one, Dhul Hijjah. That is when Muslims goes to Saudi Arabia for Hajj. So the scholars of tafsir, those who analyzes the verses of the Holy Quran, said that Arba'atu Hurum, these 4 months. As we have said in some of our videos, that Rome, the Roman people, during the Roman Empire, they have created their own month so that they can have records of the events. So that is why they created January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So most of that month are the name of their kings. Some of their kings that they have died for many years. And they created names of the week according to some of the day they choose to worship their idols. So the day they worship moon, so was known as Moon Day. So Moon Day was later turned to Monday. The day Roman people, the Roman, during the Roman Empire, so the day their people worship thunder. So Thunder Day was later turned to Thursday. They have an idol called Saturn. So the day they worshipped Saturn was known as Saturn Day, was later turned to Saturday. They have a special day when they worship sun, S-U-N, was known as Sunday, was later turned to Sunday. So the day they worship moon, M-O-O-N, was known as Moon Day, was later turned as Monday. So they have all this before Prophet Muhammad was born. So in the Arab world, they have a way of counting their days as well as an Arabic, because they speak Arabic. So they count their day in Arabic numbers. So Yawmul Ahad, that is, the Ahad in Arabic means one. Isnain means two. Thalatha, 3. Arba, 4. Khamsa, 5. Sitta, 6. Sabwa, 7. We have 7 days in a week. So in the Arab world, they count their days as well in Arabic language. So they regard what Rome called Sunday as Yawmul Ahad. So Yawmul Ahad means the first day. So the second day was known as Yawmul Ithnain. Ithnain means second day. Ithnain means 2 in Arabic. The third day was known as Yawmul Thulatha. The fourth day was known as Yawmul Arbi'a, which Yoruba call Ojo Alaruba. So Yawmul Khamis was known as Thursday. That is the 5th day. So as they have a way of calculating their days, so they have a way of calculating their month. So these are their months that they have been calculating before Prophet Muhammad was born. So there is a special history why Muslims turned this 12 month as Islamic calendar. Prophet Muhammad never regarded this as Islamic calendar. So, and if you check this 12 month, so you will notice that the 9th one is Ramadan, and that is when Almighty Allah fixed the fasting for Muslims. Why? So that will be another day. We shall discuss that in full in another day. So these are the importance of Ramadan. May Almighty Allah accept it as ibadah. May Almighty Allah answer our prayer. We have to engage ourselves in prayer. Tahajjud, helping the poor, listening to series of lectures, listening to good lectures during the month of Ramadan, and also we should try our best to increase our time of prayers, what I mean, the supplications, and you have to fast, and you have to follow the rule and regulation of the fasting, so that your fasting may be accepted. May Almighty Allah continue to bless us. Tomorrow, inshallah, as I promised, that this year, many of our viewers requested that we should discuss about the story of Prophet Yusuf, because we started a few years ago, but we have not completed the story. So inshallah, tomorrow we shall discuss about the Prophet Yusuf, what happened to him, what led his brothers to plot against him, why the children of the Prophet of Almighty Allah, because their father, Prophet Yaqub, was a great prophet. So why what happened? Inshallah, we shall give us details tomorrow, inshallah. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضم في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طور وحصانة البدن والشفاء للقدر. مرحبا يا رمضان، مرحبا يا رمضان، مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضم في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طور وحصانة البدن والشفاء للقدر. مرحبا يا رمضان، مرحبا يا رمضان، مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضم في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طور وحصانة البدن والشفاء للقدر. مرحبا يا رمضان، مرحبا يا رمضان، مرحبا بشهر هدى وتلاوة الذكر شهر رحمة ورضا ما تضم في الهجر إنه لتزكية للنفوس مع طور وحصانة البدن والشفاء للقدر. مرحبا يا رمضان، مرحبا يا رمضان.
سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thanks for watching today's program. Until we bring another educative topic, my name remains Dr. Daud Awwal from London. Good night.